hopefully someone will keep on the chat. I have, but they are not example. Okay. So let's say start screen one. So, okay. So this will show my whole screen. So hopefully there will be no lag and we will start in time and we will try to finish up. So thanks first of all joining us on the Saturday, and you guys made it up, and thank you everyone for getting up early in the morning. So with this now what my topic is like report designing with Power BI. So we will start with, and we will look what we are going to achieve in today's session. So my name is Hasham Niaz, and I am a consultant and trainer. I am a Power BI consultant and trainer. I am also Microsoft certified trainer for both cloud competencies and data analytics. So what we will do in today's session, we will try to achieve something like this. We will try to develop a report which is for the HR department or the employee distribution report. So we'll try to replicate something like that. And while we are designing the report, so keep in mind few things, like whenever you have a report requirement, so what are the questions you need to ask yourself or the organization which you are working for? What is the purpose of that particular report, and what is it is going to serve for the management? So here, this report which I am going to design will serve the management about, like, they will see how the employee distribution is within the organization, how different employees or different nationalities employees are grouped into different departments, and how the male female distribution is. So this will actually help them analyzing that particular pattern. So here we have started with the blank file. So this is the blank file. This has no connection. So I will start from scratch, and hopefully we'll try to build the same dashboard which I showed you here. So we'll try to build something similar in less than 50 minutes. So okay, let's jump to the demo right away. So here I'm going to start. I have the HR data file with me, which is an Excel file. This is the file which I'm going to use for my demo. This has this employee information, employee code, and the nationality and other things, location as well. So I have uploaded this file into my SharePoint online. So I'm going to access this from my SharePoint online directory. So here in the Power BI, I go here, click on the get data connection, and then I say I am going to get data from SharePoint online folder. So I have this SharePoint online, this SharePoint online folder location available with me. So I'm going to copy paste this location, which I'm going to connect. So let's say this is the value. Why I write this parameter? Because I'm going to later on I can change this source to another environment, production environment as well. So if you are designing a report where you have multiple client tenants, so, and you want to actually change it to different tenant or different location, so you can change it that way. So you use the parameters. So click here on the combine and transformation tab. I come here and I say what information I need to bring from Power Query to my data set. So it's now giving me one more window here. This is called the Power Query window. It is letting me choose which fields or which columns I need to include in my data model. So currently I choose this table, the employee table, and I say click OK. So now it is going to bring the employee table into my data model. If you need to modify anything, what you can do is, like, you can go to transform data and then you can click transform data thing. So let's apply the changes. So we have this basic data set coming in to our Power BI desktop. So our Power BI desktop file was empty. So now it has 1000 rows loaded into it. So these are the files. Now I want to add some functionality and transform some data. So do some transformation. I go here, I go back to the transform data, and I say this is my employee table first of all, and then I want to calculate the age of an employee. So in the sheet, my sheet, I have this date of birth. So from this date of birth, I can calculate the employee age. How I can do it? I can click add column and I say age, calculate age. So this will create a column in my model and it says that this is the age column. Let's rename this because this is showing the age total days. So let's rename this. Now I want to convert this column to years, so it will show the age in years. So how I can do it? I can click this and I say this, convert this to years. So now this is showing me age in total years. Let's rename this one as well. So we have total years. Oh, sorry, I need to rename the column here. Age in days, and this is total age in years, right? So this is now giving the age in decimal places. How I can do it? Get rid of this decimal points. I can just do rounding. So I round down it, and this will become 62. So now this is my age. So I say this 62 is my age. So let's save this for now. And this will ask you to apply the changes which you have done here. So I'm going to apply these changes as well. So now I go back here in my data. So now it's asking me to save the file as well. So let's save the file here and I say save the file as this one. So now I'm saving the file because I'm going to save the data model and data inside it. So that's why it's asking me to save the file in the particular location. So once I go back here, file name is saved, the employee data is here. Now let's start creating some measures here. So like I mentioned, the best practice is here, like you separate all the measures in a different table. So I will use this table as all my calculations will be stored in this particular this measure table. So I go back, I say close and apply. So I have this table now, this measure table. Now I create a new measure which will actually show me the count of employees. So I say number of employees distinct count. I have a column called employee code. So from this table, let's do a distinct count. So let's try to format this one for now. This is the whole number. So let's try to place this one for now here. So I place this one. Give me a second. Sorry for the interruption. Okay, so now it is showing employees. Now I have 1,000 number of employees, right? So I can delete this one for now. So this table, I will use it for here. So let's start creating some measure. Like I want to show top 10 nationalities. How I can do it? So I can use a rank function here. I create a new measure. and I say rank by nationality. So what this function does is like, this will rank all employees based on the nationality and based on the number of employee count. So let's click this one for now and try to place this in a chart. So I have the nationality field here in my table. Now let's plot this one here in the bar chart. So I plot it by this, and then I want the number of employees to be in the value field. So now this is showing bar chart. Okay, so I have created this bar chart, but this is showing like too many things. So I want to only show top 10. So how I can do it? There are two different ways I can apply. I have this rank function as well. So I can only say, okay, only show me top 10. So I can do it by this. So now this will show me top 10 employees or top 10 nationalities, right? So I can do it by this. Here, if you see, if I go here, because this is now less readable. So if I go here and change data labels and increase the size of the data labels as well, I say increase the size to 14, and for the axis I increase the size as well. For the y-axis I increase the size to 14 as well. Okay, so now this is, or if I go, this is more readable. So now let's do some formatting here for this tab, because we will be using these formats to all of our charts as well. So I do this. Another thing is here, you can actually increase the category width as well. So now when I do this increase, and if I increase the size as well, so you'll see this thing starts to appear more clear. So if we have a country name called, okay, let's remove this filter for now, this country name, and if we decrease back the length, so you see these country names are truncating, these are not coming fully. So what I did, by increasing the category width, now this country names are showing to the maximum, right? Okay, so you followed till this point. Now let's start to create some more visualization and try to make this better. So for to do a visualization thing like formatting thing, you can customize themes. So you can customize the current theme as well. So I can name this as employee theme. So this will be saved here, and in the session I say all the first and second level heading should use this black color. Text size, I can point this as a 14. I can point this title to be a 16 card, and I say this as 24. Tab header, I leave it. So visual, I say no background. Border, I say okay, let's do the background thing as well. Set the background. Header and tooltip, we leave it. So when I apply and save, so you see this board thing already start appearing. So let's save this for now, and I can actually export this current theme as well. So I can export this current theme as well. So if I want to save this current theme, I can save this as employee.theme. So this will be saved here. So it can be reused. So let's do some more formatting here before I try copy pasting and doing some more charts. So let's do, I need to, so what this is showing, this is showing top 10 nationality by employee, and then I can actually adjust the size here as well. So okay, I do the formatting as well. So let's do the formatting here. So now we have, also do you see there is no need to actually mention these data legends here. So I can remove the title of this X and Y label to give me more space on the chart. So this is how I can give more space to the chart as well. And here you see I don't need to actually have the x-axis as well, because I already have these data tables available. So I can turn this off as well. So this gives me maximum space on the chart. So I'll now turn back it to the top 10. So it will show top 10. Okay. Now this become more readable. Now let's do one last thing before. So let's do the positioning thing as well. So let me turn on the positioning. Okay, let me go back. Okay. Could you please show the table measure you created? The top 10? You're asking about the top 10 measure I created, the rank one? Okay, I will show you here. So what I does is like top 10, I'm using the rank X function and I'm ranking all the employees by nationality based on the number of employee count. And then I'm doing it by descending order and then the dense rank. What is the difference between dense and escape is like dense will count if two values have the same rank or they have the same value, it will count them as the same rank. But if it does in the escape, it will count them as a different rank. Or okay. So we are now here. So let's do it some more formatting. I say this as 340, height as 610, position is 100. Okay, so now we have arranged this chart. Okay, so this is how we arrange this chart. You can maybe try it 940 as well, see if it works. Okay, so for the report designing purpose, few things in mind is like you need to use your space very wisely, how you utilize your space in your report canvas. So this is my report canvas. So I say this as employee. So this is my report canvas. So you need to utilize your report canvas very wisely. Like you don't just misuse the space, do a lot of, so see I have clear spacing here, here on the right and the left and the top as well. And here if you see, just turn off few things, like I'm going to turn off the visual header and everything else is fine. So let's save this for now again. Now let's try to create one more report. So you can do just copy paste here. So you can do the copy paste, you can do the alignment here. So if I go here, so I can make actually align all these things. So I say this as 590, start position 100, width, and then 610 is my. So these are same size. Okay, now here I want to show the department, how they are based grouped between the departments. So I can remove this one for now and I place this in my axis. So I want to plot this by department. So I remove this nationality here. So this is by department count, right? Okay, now I want also to plot this. I need to adjust the title. So let's adjust the title as well. So we have the title says number of employees by department. So let's go head count by department. Head count by department. Here I also need to change the title as well, just to be symmetric here. So I don't use employee, I use the head count everywhere in my. Somebody mute, please. Okay, I think some of the participants are okay. So let's admit everyone and then go back to the report. Okay, so now I am doing this by head count. Also, if I want to know the gender distribution, so what I can do, I can plot this here. I click this chart, I have the gender in my table. So let's plot this here. So now this is by gender. So let's try to do one more thing here, because I don't like this space here. So I can rearrange this as a y-axis. Sorry, for the x-axis, I have turned this off. I go to legend, I go to the bottom center, and I turn off the title, because male females are already self-explanatory here. So now we have two charts available. Now let's try to create one more chart. So if I go back here in my example, so now we want to group head count by age groups. So how we do that? For that we need to create one more, because we have the age column available. So we have age column. How we do this? We do it by going into the Power Query window, and then, so if you remember here, when I go to transform data, what I did from this date of birth, I calculated the age. How I calculated the age is like I go to add column, I go here, I do the year thing, like I calculate the age thing from here. From the date of birth, it calculates the age, and since it calculate the age is in month, what I do, I have to change this duration to years, and then I have to round it off. So that's how I get all the ages. Now I want to group all those together, like I want different groups to be available. So what I can do, let's take this side now. Now let's copy paste this chart for now. Let's copy paste here, and I say so this will be my starting position. So everything else is fine. So now I'm going to only show this. Okay, so here I want to create a new column called age group, which will actually groups employee by ages. So how I can do it? I can click here, right click here, I can do the new column thing here, or I can go to modeling and I say create a new column. So both ways you can create a new column. So here I pasted it the statement here. So I'm doing a switch case statement here. So if employee age is greater than 1 and 21, then this will be in this particular group. If employee age is greater than 21 to 31, then this will be in this particular age group. And that's how I am defining all the age groups here. Now let's save this for now and try to plot our chart based on that. So I have this column available. Now here, rather than being based on genders, I want to plot it by age group. So I remove this one for now. So this is like head count by age group. So we have this many number of employees in this particular age group. So if you see, we have 463 employees between this 41 to 50 age group. Okay, so let's retitle this one as well. Retitle this chart. Head count by age group. So this is our title here. Okay, and if you want, you can here turn the x-axis label as well. So this will actually show you. So now I have this head count by age group. I want one more chart here as well, which is going to be head count by work experience. So if I need to calculate how much work experience we have in our workforce, like if this chart, go back to this chart, like this much number of years of experience we have. So how we can do it? We have the employee joining date in our model. So if I go back here, let's save this for now, and I go back to my model. So similarly, like we create the age from date of birth. If I have this column called employee hire date, if I am, so this is in my model. Sorry. So this is the hire date. Same thing I will do. I will create a new column here and I will create an age. So I create an age for this column and this will say, I will rename this as work X. Okay. Now I change this to years. So this will give me total number of years. So I rename this total work years. And then I just do the rounding off thing here. So this will show me this round thing. So this is showing me the rounding thing as well. Okay. Now let's rename this as work year. So once I do this, I close and apply. This column became available in my model as well. So here, if you see, there is a column called work year. So we have any question into the query window? Let's check. Not as of now. So we don't have any questions till now. Okay, so let's go back to my Power BI report, which I'm building here. So this is my work year, number of work year. So this is the column which I created. This is showing. So now I want to group these columns by work group. So how I do it? I have a switch case statement, same switch case statement, and I do a new column. So this is the column what I'm going to place. So my work group will be same switch case statement. Like if the work experience is between 0 to 1 year, then I will show less than 1 year. And then this is my experience. So let's save this for now. This is a text field I'm creating here. And I'm going to plot this now here. So here, this chart is currently plotting on the age group. If I change this to the work group, now my chart has been placed. So if you see, this description has been truncated. So if I change this to column chart, now I am able to see this description, right? So you need to select the column type as well. Sorry, the chart type as well. So this is showing by okay. So now we have something. Okay, we have something in the chat. Yes, we can share the final PBIX file. So we have around almost all the charts here within half an hour. So we have still some 20-30 minutes left. So what we will do is like we will try to replicate this upper part as well and then see if we can do the slicer panel. So let's first do the slicer panel thing here and then we can do this upper part. So to do the slicer panel thing, what kind of slicers we need? We need year slicer, we need job level, employment status, and these buttons as well. So in my table, currently I don't have any calendar table. So to create a calendar table, you have different methods. You can import your own calendar table, or you can actually define a calendar table right away here in the modeling tab. So what I'm going to do is show you a different way. I can create a new table from here. And I have different methods of creating a calendar table. So I can create a fixed calendar table based on the date range provided. So I can create a calendar table like this with the fixed date range, start and end date. So this will create a calendar table for me. So if I plot it here and I change this to a slicer, you will see all the available years because I have only 2 years available. So that's why this is showing 2 years, right? So other method is like if I go back here and I change this, I have a different function called calendar auto. I can use this function as well. So what this function will do is like this will create an automatic calendar based on my So let's change this to date hierarchy, and I'm removing all those other columns. So see, this is now starting from the lowest date in my model and has the maximum date in my model. So this is how I do it. So now let's do it to the drop down just to save us the space. So we could save the space here. So now we have this year filter. Let's try to do something with it. Let's try to do the same formatting here as well. So let's turn on the title and say this is year. Title 16. Let's align the same colors as well. Okay. So now we have this one. We can turn off this visual header thing, because this will be appearing in the reading pane as well. So that's why I'm turning off this visual header thing as well. Okay, now let's go back here and say I want this. I just adjusted the height and width of this particular year filter. So now we can do what we can do is we can copy paste it here. We can align it like this, and the other filter we are going to place is like job level. So I can remove this from here directly. I can move this like this, job level, and to see all the available job levels I just need to go here and turn on it by list. So now I have this as a list, then I can turn this off right now. Okay, if you want this to be a single select, you can make it a single select or a multi select. You can change it from here as well. Okay, so let's adjust the title here as well. So the title here is, we have some messages coming up. Okay, so you get the round edges from here. When I go back to my view, and if I want to apply these round edges, you can do it on the individual visual, or you can do it for all visuals as well. So if I go here with the visual, I have the visual header, and visual header I turn the border on, and I provided this radius, so this will be round. If I do it, it's 0, and I save it. Now there is no rounding, right? So if I go back here again and I change the rounding of the border, so now if I apply and save, so these all the rounding edges appear. Hope I answered this question. Okay, now I have one more. Okay, okay, we keep getting people. Okay, somebody handle this moderating for me. Okay, so we have job level, and then we want employment status. So this is the thing, we want this to a title to be a job level thing. Now we have only, I guess, 20 minutes left, so I will try to rush off a bit. So let's copy paste it here and do it by employment status. So we have employment status as well. So let's do it like this, employment status, and I adjust the title. Okay, so we have now something similar we have ready here as well. Now one thing I want to make sure is like these slicers, like when I click this options become unavailable. So how I can turn this off? I can click here, I go to the format thing, I click edit interaction, and I don't want this to be turned off. So I am just turning this off. And same for here, if I turn this thing, I want edit interaction, this to not interact with this filter visual. Okay. So now we have this employment thing set up as well, this filter. Now we want these two buttons here as well. why are not you using the filter pane on the right? Okay. So he's asking about why I'm not using this particular filter pane, because in my report when I publish to web here, so this filter pane is going to be available, but I have this thing available for my user right on the screen, so they can actually turn and made all this selection. And if somebody wants to hide, they can actually hide this one for now. So this will be hidden. And if they want, we can reset it as well. Like if I have this particular thing as retired, if I want to reset the filter, I can reset this filter as well. So this is like I'm trying to create a dynamic slicer pane. You can do it here as well, but then this will not be this slick or that particular theme matching. So that's why I'm using this here. Hope I answered your question. So now moving to buttons. So you can insert button images, things like that. How you can do it? I create a blank button. So you can use some other buttons as well. So I create a blank button. You cannot format like you want. Okay, I create this button for now and I say the button text as. So here my button text size, font color, because I want to apply the font color as well. So if I turn the fill, and my fill would be same as everything else. So if I turn this same fill and I turn the font to match, so I create the rounding button. So how, from where I can remove this thing, background, I can turn this off, outline, I can turn this off outline. So this is now more matched with my theme, right? So here we have this particular button. We can actually adjust this button here as well. We can adjust the size because everything starts with this. So 650, and then we have 50 here, and sorry, height is 50. Okay. So I have adjusted the button here as well. So now if you want, you can actually turn on the action as well. So let's turn on the action and define some action here in my work. How you can define some actions, you can have, there are different kinds of actions. Like if I click here, if I go back, there is, it can go back to back screen, it can directly go to any web URL, it can directly go to any bookmark. So now I'm going to define some bookmarks, so I can actually set it to a reset page. So how I can do it, I can click on view pane, I select this bookmark and I say this is my reset, this is my first page. So I say this as reset. So this is how I define one bookmark, reset filters. So here I want this data to be preserved because when I reset, I want this to be reset as this one. Okay. So now click view. So this is my reset one, right? So let's click close and let's try to configure the bookmark here. So I go to the bookmark, I say this as a bookmark, and which bookmark I need to set, I need to set it to reset filter. So I can type this tooltip here as well. So reset filters. So here you are seeing this tooltip here available. So if I click active, now this is showing active 531 employees. If I click, if I want to check my bookmark here, I can control click here. So now this actually set it up to reset it to 1000, right? So now we have this one available. So we have some questions, I guess. What does those things to do data and display tricks? Okay. Let's try. Okay, so the question is like, why, what is the difference between having this bookmark tick and untick, like this data thing? This guy asked like why I let them tick or untick. So what it is doing, like this is bookmark is a snapshot of your dashboard or of your report page. So what I'm doing, I'm doing all visual. So I'm including all visuals in my bookmark current page. Like this is the current page. This bookmark is for this current page. Display is like whatever visuals are displayed right now will be included in my bookmark. If I exclude this data thing, what will appear is like it will, you will see if I exclude this one, I'm not including the data thing. So what it will do is like if I click restricted and then I click exit, if I click this one, control click, see, I'm control clicking it again, but this is not resetting the data. So I want my data state to be stored in my bookmark as well. So it could be reset. So if I do this data and then I update my bookmark, I click close. Now I click this reset. Sorry, I have to. Okay, because now I need to update this one because I want it to be reset it to this one. So now let's close this one. Now let's say I select this resign. So there are currently 224 employees, right? So if I click reset filter, now this will be reset. Why? Because I preserved the data stage there in my bookmark. So it is resetting it to the 0 or your initial bookmark state. Okay, we have few more questions here. Hope you understand. Okay, now we have only 15 minutes left. So what is remaining? The remaining part is like we can add some of these things here and then we can do the hide paint. Also, how you can do group, you can do the slide. You have this selection pane available here as well, which is called the Z order. So you can define the Z order of your visuals, like which visual will render, sorry, which visual will render before each other. So this is how the Z orders came in place. So let's try to group. You can group different visuals together as well. So I have these 4 visuals. Now what I can do, I can insert this thing called shape. I insert this as a rectangle and I say, okay, this is my rectangle. And in my format pane, I off the fill, I turn off this fill cycle as well, fill line color. Okay, I do this as 10. Now I turn the title as employee dashboard. Let's align this with our color theme. Okay, so now I can actually do this visual turn off this visual header, border is there, only the sizing thing. So I can do the sizing thing as well. So we need to start this by height. 6 will be our height and our start position will be 100. Okay, and 220. Okay, so now you see this is my dashboard. So this is my Z order. Now what I need to do is like, first I want my year filter here, then I want my job label, and then I want my employment status, and then this. I can actually rename this here as a reset button as well. Okay, now I need to group all these together. So how I can group all these together is like I click this, everything here, and I group this, and I call this group as slicer pane. So if I want, I can actually hide this as a single thing. I can hide this or unhide this. So the thing which what I was doing here is with hide filter, I have defined another bookmark which is actually hiding this thing. So I can do that. Question again. Is this in the desktop? Yes, you can do this in the desktop, but this is the published version as well. So currently I'm building it into the desktop. So now let's move to the final part where we have some card visuals available. So let's try to format this card visual, and then in next 10 minutes, I will quickly copy paste these visuals. So let's set this card visual first. So name this as title this, turn on the title, visual header turn off, data label is already set. We need to turn off category label. In the title we say total head count. Okay, why this is showing this? Because of that. So now this is start matching our theme as well. So we only need to fit in it to the particular position. So let's start the position with 240 by 10, and then width is 165, height is 80. So now I have set this one. So let's quickly copy paste this one here. So what I only need to change is like I only need to change here is the positioning. Now this is aligned. So in the male female count, what I will do, I will copy paste these two here. I will place this here. You can do this alignment thing here. Now I create two measures. I create two measures for male and female. So for the male and female count, how I can do it? I can go to the new measure tab. I create a new measure, and I say the name of the measure would be like number of female Okay, so now this will count the number of females in my model, and then I create another measure called number of male. So I will copy paste the same statement here, and I only change the measure name, number of male employee, and I change the condition to male. So what I'm doing here is I'm calculating the number of employees, and I'm filtering based employee based on gender. So I'm clicking check if the gender name is male. So that's how I'm checking this one. So once I verify my measure, I format this one as well. So let's bring those two here. So this is now showing the number of employees. So I want to show the number of female employees here, and I want to show the number of male employees here. So this is long turning up to the 1000. So how you can actually add the icons here? I can add the icons. So let's adjust the title. So this is female head count. We can actually female count, and this is going to be male count. I do this, and now you need to place some icons. So to place an icon, let's save this one for now here, and I go to insert. I can click shapes, or I can pick an image. So I have image here as well. So you see I have these images with the color format theme, like light blue is for female. So I have developed this image as well. And then dark blue is for male. So I import all those images here. So let's do a few things here. I don't want border or anything to be turned on for this. So only thing I want is like this to be positioned here, right here. So I just check the positioning here, 930. So I want this to be somewhere in the 930, X position 930, and then width and height, I can short this one, 6060, Y position S. So you see now I have this female icon appearing here as well. And same thing I can do, I can actually have this image, like this is an image, I say this as female. So I can arrange the same Z order here, and then the female count. I can arrange this, and I can actually group those two together as well. So I can move this thing as well. So this is like you click icon. So you can do copy paste here as well. So let's copy paste here. Or you can do insert image, and this will be like 60/60. So see, now this image is also appearing here. So what I need to turn off, I need to turn off visual header and border. So this look more asymmetrical. So if I click close, I can rename this image as well. So this is my male image, and this will be like, they will be rendered here as well. So I can group these two together as well. So any question till this point? Now I can publish this report. I saw vertical text on rotate. How you slide the pane? Okay, so the question is like here, when I click hide, there is a vertical text. So this vertical text, if I go back to my original file, which I developed here, so this vertical text is not the textbook, it is an image. So if you go here, this is an image property. So what I do is like I create an image here. This is like in Power BI, you cannot actually rotate the text. So this is the limitation. So this visual is image, not the. So this is how you can do it. You can actually place your image, and then you can do the rotating on the image as well. So with this, now we are only 5 minutes. What else you want me to do? We can actually publish this one here. So you can publish this to the web, and then within the web you can do all the things here. So what we did, we create a very simple dashboard within less than 45 minutes, because so we created something very similar. Also what you do is like you can save we learned about how to create ranking, how to embed icons into our report, how to group different measures, how to set the bookmarks, things like that. So we learned that. So hopefully this will help you design your basic first dashboard report or first report. Few things here I mentioned is like, if you see here the color theming, I only use 2 colors. So keep in mind that don't use too many colors in your reports, because then if you use too many colors, it will become clutter and it will be unreadable for the management. And also see, I use only 2 or 3 different chart types. So I use bar charts here, and I use a column chart. So I don't use very complex charts, because bar charts and column charts are easy to understand and easy to interpret. Other thing, if you notice, is like I divided my report pane into different sections. Like I have top section, I have a slicer section here, and then I have these 3 sections. So I divided this and equally distribute my charts as well. Okay, so we have done those things. Any questions you are feel free to ask. Anything you can shoot out, because I'm now going to stop the screen sharing, and hopefully the recording as well. So I'm going to stop the recording for now.